The unstoppable force that is Josh Chin this season has already claimed victory in half of the races. While that may make the championship look like a foregone conclusion, we must remember that Serwa has been stalking him by being the only other runner with top fives in every race thus far. He has a decent gap to close, but it is far from impossible. We'll see if he can start chipping away tonight as we get ready to watch round 6 of the PRL Indy Pro 2000 series. And you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is DJ Clark. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Worldwide Technology Raceway is perhaps more commonly known in racing circles by its original name, Gateway. Giving a nod to the nearby St. Louis Arch, the track certainly acts as an in-between from the east to the west. Let's head down to take a closer look.
Worldwide Technology Raceway, a speedway born out of the speedway boom of the 90s. More colloquially known as Gateway, the track sits in Madison, Illinois, just on the other side of the mighty Mississippi, from St. Louis and its famous arch. And like that arch, Gateway has become a passage to the western United States for many series calendars. The facility itself opened in 1967 for drag racing, but the changes started in the mid-90s when the land was raised and the rebuilding began. As part of the rebuilding, a 1.6-mile road course was built inside and using part of the 1.25-mile track we are here for today. Its egg-shaped and differing ends in both radius and banking is a challenge for anyone trying to set up a car here. Even though the banking itself isn't too different, 11 degrees in 1 and 2 and 9 degrees in 3 and 4, the radius of 3 and 4 is much wider, so you carry a lot of speed down that front straightaway, which has led to some drama and classic finishes over the years in iRacing and on the real-life track. IndyCar returned here in 2017 after 14 years away, and in a short amount of time has become a coveted spot on that schedule. The NASCAR trucks also make a regular trip here every single year. ARCA is more off and on, and we'll sometimes get some late model and super late model action here with more regional series. Now, with downtown St. Louis and the Gateway Arch as a backdrop, it's getting time to drop the green flag at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
This track not only, of course, has the oval, but it has the drag strip right next door, which draws in a lot from the NHRA crowd, but we won't be paying attention to that today. DJ, how is it going to be between these cars and this circuit?
Thanks, Joe. Well, this is one of the more interesting tracks that a lot of these open wheel guys will go to in any series. Coming into that first corner in an open wheel car, it's only an 11-degree banked corner, but it is surprisingly steep. You've got to get off of the throttle if you're coming in on a fresh set of tires. And if you're coming in on older tires, you've really got to maybe even ride the brakes a little bit, try to figure out what you're doing. When you come in through turn 3 and 4, you're going to be able to take that flat out. You're going to be able to get some good drafts. It should be good to see, and it should be fun all the way around.
Absolutely. And today's broadcast is also proudly sponsored by ButtKicker. ButtKicker products add an incredible immersion and realism to any game. Feel every nuance and truly put yourself in the driver's seat. Check them out at thebutkicker.com. Now let's take a look at the championship, starting with the pro drivers. Josh Chin is currently leading the way, obviously. As I said, we're halfway through, and he's won every single race so far. But there's Serwa. It's 22 points he has to make up. 5 rounds left. It's doable, but he's got to start making inroads now. Espedy, Rodriguez, and Guyon are relatively close in the fight behind them for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. What about the AM championship here, DJ?
Well, Dave Peterson's starting to pull out a little bit of an advantage, nothing compared to what Joshua Chin has over in the Pro Championship. But behind him, Owen McLaughlin and David Cristelli locked in a fierce battle for second place. Behind them, a little ways back, Tyler Gore and Michael Broomhead there, 5 points back of Gore for 5th.
And of course, we have the team's championship in this series, Team Talent leading the way, about 19 points ahead of RSR Esport. That's not a huge gap for the team championship. Lavoie Motorsports a little ways behind, and then a huge jump down to Blown Tranny Racing, where they are in a tight fight for fourth with Seagull Vision Racing. Real quick, before we get to the cars gritty, why don't you give us the race details here, DJ?
Well, as you mentioned, we're on the 6th round of the series, and as we do with all the ovals here, it's either going to be 85 laps or 55 minutes, caution depending. We're going to have to see what happens. Open setup so everybody can run whatever they need to get this thing to work, but they do have a fuel limit, which should, if we stay under green long enough, make everybody have to make one pit stop. Penalties, you get a drive-through at 11 incidents and disqualified at 20. There are bonus points available for the pole, the fastest lap, and for 3 incidents or less.
That bonus point for the pole has gone to Josh Chin, another point that Sirois has to make up now. So 23 points between them. Andreas Eich will be starting next to him on the front row. David Sirois will be on the inside of row 2 with Anders Arhaus next to him. David Rodriguez starts 5th and Olivier Legault starts P6. Michael Broomhead is 7th with Declan Eady in the 8th position. You've got Tyler Scarali in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, it's Kevin Santana.
Bringing the car home, ready to start off in 11th is going to be Adam Wright, followed by Aaron Roofs. Eric LeBlanc behind him in 13th, followed by Don Bowden, Sebastian Prue, and Dave Peterson in 16th. Alex Guyon going to line up 17th. Outside of him, Matthew Hall, followed by Matthew Gunderson and Sean Duhamel, rounding out row 10.
Paul Wildridge starts 21st today, and then Christopher Richards will be 22nd. Tyler Gore will be P23, and Owen McLaughlin to his outside in 24th. Donald Olson starts P25. You've got Daniel Barnett in 26th, and David Hebert, the last driver to qualify, in 27th. Andrew Wood and Robert Besaw Jr. did not put times in, and it does appear that both should be out on the grid. I see Besaw Jr. out there already. We're waiting for Andrew Wood to grid up. Now we've got our pit reporter with us once again, Joe Tebben down there. Joe, welcome back. We were talking a little bit before the race about the differences between here and what we had at Phoenix, which was the oval earlier this season. You seem to have some optimism about this one.
Yeah, well, in the nicest way possible. The race at Phoenix was a disaster, but the racing with these cars at Gateway tends to be a little bit calmer. I don't know what it is about the track. Maybe it's the banking, maybe it's the wider corners, but these cars always seem to have a little bit of a calmer time around here than ovals like Phoenix.
So crossing fingers that we'll get a little bit more green flag racing as the pace car now heads its way off on the pace lap. It is quite hot here today. Thankfully, it has cooled down, though, DJ, since we had our practice. It was 112 Fahrenheit at one point.
Yeah, these guys are going to not have a whole lot of trouble getting these tires up to temperature, but we did hear race control talking about trying to take it easy, even with that 102-degree track temperature. Wind coming out of the southeast at about 2 miles an hour with a 56% humidity. So a little bit hot, a little bit greasy. You're going to see guys slide up a little bit in turn 2 as a result, but it shouldn't affect the overall handling of these cars too much.
And we have, oh, that was someone just messing around. I thought somebody was going to go to the end of the line. That was Declan Eady, who we've covered earlier, has not had the greatest of seasons this season, unfortunately. A couple DNFs did not start, and just not the results that I think he's been wanting. Josh Chin looking for win number 6. Mustang pace car getting ready to peel in off of turn 4. He'll have control, and he does not wait at all. Green flag is out here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Chin getting a big jump over Andreas Eich. It's a big fight for third, though. Sirois got the inside. Arhaus is going to try and challenge him the long way around. Not sure if he's going to be able to hold it. And then David Rodriguez, he might have a jump as we've already got a wreck. I see Gunderson, a lot of cars involved in this one. Tyler Gore, Daniel Barnett. Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's about half a dozen cars that are scattered around 1 and 2. Let's see if we can figure out where this started with. It looks like a spin from Aaron Roofs. The number 26 car kicks it off.
As we're going to jump back here to that GSRC replay, you can see them coming through here. That's Roofs in the center of your screen. He's going to go into one. This turn one, very tricky on cold tires. He's going to get, just tagged from behind there. I think that was Gunderson that got into him. That's going to send everybody spinning around him. Joe, at the start of these races, it is so tricky. You are so bunched up, and if somebody goes like that in front of you, you've got nowhere to go.
That was Scarali, actually, who flew up into the air. Everything that happened with the other cars was actually just reaction. This is Gunderson. You can see just kind of gets shuffled upwards, and he has no place to go. Looks like Don Bowden had a spin. LeBlanc and Wright kind of tangled together. And I think Joe has a few more that he's caught coming into pit lane. What can you see down there?
Yep, unfortunately, this race in St. Louis, Missouri has ended in St. Louis misery for about 7 drivers. Tyler Scarelli, Adam Wright, Aaron Roof, Sebastian Prue, Matthew Gunderson, Tyler Gore, and Andrew Wood, all stuck in the pits early on.
I'm wiping a tear away in pride right now that our young up-and-comer is already picking up on the puns. So as we are not going to get a full green flag lap here at the start, kind of similar to what we saw in one of the races here in St. Louis with IndyCar. This, of course, being the Road to Indy machinery here on iRacing. This has still got Chin leading, Ike in second. Serwa is going to hold on to third. What I'm interested in out of that is before we got the caution, DJ, Rodriguez looked like he was setting up the cars in front of him with a fantastic run down the backstretch. I wonder if he's got something sussed out with these restarts.
He very well might. Rodriguez obviously finished 4th last time out at Phoenix. He's got some game when it comes to these ovals, and it really looked like he was able to get the car down to that low line through turns 1 and 2. That turn is a little counterintuitive. The fastest way around there actually normally being the high line. But if you can get the car dug down on the line, avoid those rumble strips, you can really get the car to rotate and turn around. And I think he may just have that perfect touch.
So we've got 22 cars still out on the track. About 6 of them, 5 of them potentially trying to get repairs and get back out there. But that is a severe thinning of the field. We'll see if that makes a difference on the next restart with things hopefully being a little bit cleaner. By the way, we just want to take a moment to mention that if you would like to get your company here on air, you can indeed advertise with us because GSRC offers a wealth of options to help you get your branding seen on a platform with over 1 million monthly impressions. If your organization is looking for a global audience to advertise with, look no further than GSRC. Follow our link in the description below to learn more. Let's see if we get the lights off this time. Get a little bit of chat from the drivers. Trying to listen in here. Sounds like Roofs is a little bit unhappy with how some of the drivers have been dealing with the ovals. This, like IndyCar, DJ, this is a series that does both road and ovals. So not everybody's an expert in both.
Not at all. And there was a little bit of chatter before the race talking about how to compose yourself around ovals, really trying to not go for the sort of hero move through turns 1 and 2 there. And I think Roof's obviously venting some frustration, but that just being a situation where on cold tires, you're not entirely sure how that car is going to perform coming around that corner. Just a bit of an unfortunate situation for everybody, but really a testament to this series that they do run the ovals and the road circuits, as it really shows who is the best, most well-rounded driver.
Absolutely. Having grown up on IndyCar, I certainly love to see them at least get out onto the ovals. As the lights are indeed off on the pace car, and Chin's going to have a single file restart to deal with. Can he get another jump over Ike this time, with him having a clear view of when that purple and white 93 is going to go? And he knows the game. He goes all the way up to the outside because the cars are not allowed to pass on the inside before that start-finish line. And he is off very early as the green flag is out. Chin leaves Ike well behind. Behind them, it looks very orderly coming down to turn 1. The accident happened down into these first 2 corners. So let's see if they're going to be clean this time. It looks pretty good, DJ.
Everybody looking like they're just taking it very, very easy coming through that corner. Rodriguez, you can see him poking his head out there. Looks like he's really got that car dialed in, as we said, as he makes the move there around Anders Arhus, really able to get that car working down onto the low line. And Arhus now going to be challenged there by Olivier Legault as well, but Legault is going to fall back. They're going to go 1, 2, 3 across the line.
Thought he could maybe take advantage of the side-by-side, but it didn't work out. Clearly, early on the run, Rodriguez is strong. Legault checks up big time. Michael Broomhead has to get out of it. That's going to allow Declan Eady, who is back in 8th, to take a go at 7th. And he is going to get around the outside and move himself up 1 spot.
Not uncommon to see that happen, especially as this race goes along, Joe, that coming off of that second turn, you think you can have that line perfect until you get too close to it. You've just got to kind of back off the throttle and do it out of fear. As you see him here go side by side through that corner, going to hope to keep it nice and clean, giving each other nice and space, some good, respectful oval driving there from these guys.
Yeah, and earlier there was mention about the middle line being the way to go. Legault has found that out as he drops behind Eady through 1 and 2, tries to sneak underneath him through 3 and 4. That's not quite going to work out. We're on board with Eady. Broomhead is starting to get a little bit interested in this fight as he's just behind the 88 of Olivier.
And Legault's got to be very careful with that low line through 3 and 4. You get too much of that left tire onto the rumble strips, and it is a one-way ticket to Spinsville. But he was able to keep it there, so kudos to him. As there you see Rodriguez popping out. He's going to make a move now.
I think that's Eady, actually. Eady on Arhaus, and he's going to get to the inside. Clearly, Declan has got another one with a very good early run setup. Again, this is an open setup series. It couldn't quite get the run off of 4, though. Arhaus defends and keeps him back. The wake of the car ahead, almost causing Eady to drift up into the outside wall.
Well, Eady and Rodriguez are teammates, and here Eady coming down to the inside. He's going to try to make it work, keep that car off the rumble strips. You see he just barely touches it. He's going to get a little more momentum around the outside, but Arhus able to keep it down in front of him. But as I was saying, Eady and Rodriguez are teammates. We have a caution here.
I think Paul Wildridge, unfortunately, the victim on this one. This is in 3 and 4. The number 9 is going to lose it on his own, and this is not a good sign because, Joseph, this is what we saw in Phoenix. A lot of the cautions look just like this with cars spinning out.
Single car incidents are very, very easy to do in these cars on an oval track. You're on a fine margin that you make one mistake entering the corner and you really can't recover from it.
The wall, unfortunately, right there on ovals. There's not really runoff room like you have on a lot of road courses, and he did smack the wall hard enough, if I can get the words out, that he had to take a tow. All right, 11 laps in. We got a few more in with green, DJ. That's at least something of a good sign, but this makes me wonder, between short runs and long runs, we're already seeing a bit of differences between cars.
Yeah, we are, with Rodriguez and Eady really seeming to be able to get a good jump off the start and then not really able to close the deal later in the stretch, as Rodriguez really just kind of stalled behind Sirwa. But I think to the surprise of absolutely no one, Joshua Chin just being the absolute class of the field, setting fastest lap after fastest lap in that lead purple car.
Was nowhere near being challenged by Ike during that run, hence why we didn't really go up to the front. Almost wonder if it's going to take something special from Ike on the restarts to get an opportunity. And of course, there is still pit stops. Kind of curious, maybe we could bring Joseph in again as well, if maybe someone can get tricky there. Or are you expecting anything in particular there, Tebben?
Well, pit strategy can always throw up a curveball, especially on ovals, so maybe if you're one of the guys who was involved in an early accident and didn't go a lap down, like Eric LeBlanc or David Hebert, Christopher Richards, maybe that's what you need to do to get back in the fight.
That could be something tricky. They've got nothing to lose back there at the back of the field. The number 16, Hebert, and then Richards, the last two on that lead lap. We're on board with Richards now as he climbs up to the tail of the train. Drivers who are still in the race but off the lead lap are Adam Wright in the number 87. And then I see Tyler Gore has the car running once again. I believe he was one of those also involved in that opening wreck. He's about 10 laps down from our leaders, unfortunately, but trying to get some points out of it. If they, I believe, do, I think it's 50% of the race. I need to double check the rule book to see what they need to do to earn points here.
I think you're right on that, Joe. As you see here, that Mustang pace car lights are still on, so we're going to have another lap here under green. That will probably stretch out the fuel window, but if we keep running like this, I think we could see a Phoenix situation where nobody needs to come in. So that'll be something interesting to see play out as this race develops.
Some interesting stats for our viewers on this championship as well. We've had domination from Josh Chin, but he's only taking 2 of the pole positions, so only 2 of those bonus points. And also, he's got 4 of the fastest laps. So kind of makes me wonder, DJ, if maybe he's just focusing on setting up the car for the race. The fact that he's clearly got 1 lap pace, but not necessarily in qualifying trim. And did I just see him come? He's coming down pit lane.
He is. I was absolutely speechless at that. I guess Chin is seeing something here that nobody else is, as he looks like he's pretty much the only car coming down.
Yeah, he saw something that I didn't see either, because I have no idea what Joshua Chin is doing here, but I'm going to watch him as he comes down pit lane. Is he going to take tires? Is he going to take fuel? Is he retiring from the race? Who knows?
Okay, so theory from me is maybe he knows that he can get to the end no matter if it goes green from here on fuel from 15 laps into the race. And maybe he's just getting it out of the way now. Now this puts him in danger. Yeah, okay, so short stop just for fuel, it seems. No tires. This puts him in danger at the back of the field. That's the big argument against this, I feel like. But now he doesn't have to play games late in the race, I suppose. I don't. This is just bizarre all around to me.
It is, Joe, and I also think that there could be something working to Chin's detriment here, which is he did not take tires, and if he's got to go a full 65 or 60 laps without tires, by the end of the race, he's going to be slipping and sliding all over the place.
Hopefully we'll get to talk to him and find out what's going on, or maybe his strategy will become clear later down the line. As we're going to get restarted in lap 16, Mustang pace car down on the lane. Ike waiting for it as he has control. Green flag is out. Ike is off. Serwa not able to hold on the restart. Rodriguez is there. He certainly needs to watch out from behind because David has been great on these restarts. As they come off of 2, let's keep an eye on the number 15. And again, he starts to close. Doesn't look like he's got enough to try and attack David this time.
No, I don't think he does, and I'm starting to wonder if Rodriguez and Edie are maybe running a little bit more of a high downforce setup, getting more speed through the corner. Is Joshua Chin's coming back into the pits, Joe?
Yeah, this is unexplainable, frankly. I don't know if he has a problem or an issue that we didn't see before. Or maybe he's coming down to take tires, but that'll put him a lap or 2 down, so seemingly unexplainable strategy from Josh Chin.
Really is, as from above we're seeing Rodriguez get the run this time. He's down to the inside of David Serwa, and he's into second place. This is not good for David, who should be having a very good race. He'll still get plenty of points over our points leader, but I'm sure he'd want to maximize those over Josh Chin, who is in his pit stall. I wonder if Josh Chin maybe crossed the pit exit line, because we were discussing that exit line is pretty strict.
That could be a possibility, as it looks like Chin is back rolling again. Joe, did you happen to see if he stopped for, like a perfect 5 seconds on a penalty or something, anything of that nature?
It looks to me like he stopped for 15.9 seconds, which maybe he didn't fill the tank enough in the first stop. Or maybe he had a 10-second penalty. I don't know. I hope we get answers to this soon.
Meanwhile, we're watching our house to the inside of Broomhead, down into turn 3. This is for P5, but look at Broomhead carry the momentum the long way around. He's going to deny the number 10. and he'll have to try again later. We are missing absolutely nothing up at the top. The battling for P2 has allowed Andreas Ike to stretch it to 1.2 seconds to the nearest car.
Ike really taking advantage of that clean air in front of him, but that move from Broomhead there, absolutely spectacular defense from him, just knowing where that momentum is. You can see him coming through that corner now, working it down. We're going to jump up the field here. This is the battle for P3, David Sirois and Declan Eady.
Indy got awful close off of turn 2 and down to turn 3. Let's see if he does it again. And we saw he's a teammate of Rodriguez, who's been pulling a similar move. He's closing in, and it's not as tight as it was last time, but he is getting within about 2 car lengths, and then suddenly the wake of the car ahead might cause him to drop off. We had a car coming off of pit lane that may have been Gunderson.
I believe it was, as you see there on screen, Edie just keeping an even better run. He's going to try to take a narrower line. You can see him just trying to get as much clean air on that front wing as possible. He's now going to be right in that draft. He's going to have a good run into 3.
Does he poke his nose down? Middle line seems to be the favored one. Can he clear? He is well clear of him. And David Sirois maybe going for the over-under as he ducks down to the desired line. Doesn't quite pay off for him. So Declan Eady now up into 3rd. Oh, but this team for the 013 and the 15 is looking incredibly strong here today.
They're looking good. And now if I'm David Rodriguez, I'm on the radio with Declan Eady saying, okay, buddy, let's play a little bit of leapfrog, see if we can jump up here, use our respective drafts to get up to Andreas Ike and see if they can close that now 1.7 second gap, or 1.4, excuse me.
Nightmare scenario for David Sirois. Well, maybe not nightmare, I should say, as he is going to gain a lot of points still over our championship leader. Chin's still running in 21st, 1 lap down. No lucky dogs in this series, so he's got to earn this back the hard way as we head down to 7th place. This is our house being chased by a whole train. Santana, Peterson, and Guyon.
And there you can see that Santana right behind him in that red and blue machine, trying to get that clean air, going for a little bit of the over-under move. He's now going to tuck right up behind in that draft, see if he can get anything working into turn 1. I don't know if he's going to have a run. He might if he's super late on the brakes, but no, he's going to stay back, just try to get it to work. There you see him diving a little bit lower than Arhus, getting that clean air, and now he's going to try to line it up for 3.
He's closer this time. This could be a good thing as he starts to run him down, but he can't get the overlap. Behind him, there is overlap between Peterson and Guyon. The 808 moves himself up into 9th, nice and cleanly.
Good move from Guyon. It almost looked like he got a little sideways there, but able to keep it down. As there you see this train of Legault, Arhus, and Santana really making it work. And now it looks like that Arhus is able to pull up behind Legault a little bit here. Santana dropping back just a fraction.
Keep an eye on this, but I'm also watching P2 because Edie's run down Rodriguez. And I want to see if they start doing the leapfrog that you were predicting, EJ. As we come down the front stretch, and actually they are already. Edie goes by Rodriguez. Oh, but he gets loose down through 1 and 2. The car's going to drift up. That's actually going to cost them time now.
And that's going to open up David Sirois and Michael Broomhead there, as now Broomhead's going to make a move down the inside of Sirois. Sirois' day getting a little bit worse by the minute. Broomhead looks like he's got that move stuck. I think he can do it, but Sirois may be able to get a move down into 1.
In a day where David wants to try and overtake in the points, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it if he keeps dropping positions. Edie gets by this time, still drifts up a little bit, but the car looks more steady.
Yeah, he's able to get that power down a little bit more, as there you see Rodriguez now tucking up into the draft, going down. Here it comes, Joe. This is that leapfrog that we talked about. If this is working, we've got to hope for them that it does. Gap is up to a full 2.3 seconds ahead, so they've really got to start using this draft to help them out.
We have a bizarre situation happening with Josh Chin that we couldn't explain. Well, because apparently he had a bet with his Twitch stream that he would go to the back of the field if he got so many subs. I think that was a bit of a poor bet, if I'm honest, because now he's in 21st, a lap down, and struggling to get back up to the front. Legault, I think, has just swapped positions with Santana, who now gets himself up into 6th.
He has. Santana driving a fantastic race there, as you can see him going side by side behind these two RSR boys. There it is. Whoo, good move around the outside.
A lapped car making it 3 wide for a brief moment. Legault now being challenged by Arhouse. He gets down to the inside. He's been trying this one for a long time on Olivier. Oh, they're going to go wheel to wheel. He almost drifts up into him. He's been given space down at the bottom, just enough that they can get out the other side as they drag race down into turn 1. As long as Arhouse gets the entry right, I think he can seal the deal. He might get a 2-for-1 here. That's Hey Bear. That's a lapped car. He's going to just manage to stay out of the way, but scary moments.
And honestly, coming off a 3 there for Legault, I would almost prefer to be behind him to get the draft, but he's going to get a little bit of a tuck here to go back down the inside on Arhouse. They're going to be side by side. Arhouse going to be able to carry that outside momentum around, cut him off a little bit. Now here is where it can work out for Legault. If he can tuck up behind the draft for a full corner and a half here and really get a good run out of 2, he may be able to make that pass stick coming through 3.
I have to confess, DJ, I thought that this would be just a line astern affair with nobody being able to pass, especially since we saw a lot of that in Phoenix. As we got a caution, and I see Matthew Hall at the side of the road in the number 911 car. This happened in 1 and 2, and I think it's another single car incident.
I think it is. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage to him, so we're going to watch the replay here. That is Hall and that black and orange machine making the dive down the inside of that car. Just looks like he got a little too much speed, maybe, coming down and around. Yep, he's just going to lose it on the exits at the corner, locks it up. He is going to hit that rear tire, so that is probably going to be some suspension damage for Hall, but another single car incident for the 911.
He is indeed heading into pit lane, but he's being joined by Andreas Eich and a few others. Joseph, it looks like you got some fun coming your way.
I do indeed, as Matthew from the back of the field hauls that car into the pits, and Andreas Eich from the front of the field drives into the pits with a perfectly healthy car. And a couple more behind. I think that might be Anders Arhus behind, but we're going to follow Andreas Eich, the race leader, as he goes to the pits. I think he will just take tires, or will he take fuel? I'm not so sure about the calculations here. Let's watch him as he pulls into his pit stall all alone in that 3rd spot. Goes up on the jack. It's always amazing to watch these invisible pit crews on iRacing. That's one thing that racing in real life doesn't have, but I think Ike just took fuel there, actually.
Well, if he went up on the jacks, then he definitely took tires. But that's the second time we've had the leader come out from the lead to take a stop and sacrifice a bit of track position. This time, though, it looks like he was joined by maybe about 7 or 8 cars, it appears. But now Rodriguez is up at the front with Edie. And this is going to be a fascinating one to watch, DJ, because those two, I didn't look like they were gaining from what I could tell, but then I never really got to focus and see whether or not they were trying that leapfrog successfully.
No, I think in watching it, it looked like they were really just kind of racing each other rather than trying to work together for a leapfrog. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is if they're able to pull out ahead of Michael Broomhead and David Serrois. Ike is going to have to work his way through a lot of lap traffic here to try to get up front. But the catch being is that he's got those fresh tires. And so he'll have more grip and be able to work his way around as even more guys peeling off into the pits now. Looks like I'm seeing Arhus, Bode, and a bunch of guys coming down.
Yeah, and about half of that pack was actually lapped cars, which will make things easier for Andreas Eich, as drivers like Tyler Gore, Tyler Scarelli come down, or 10, 23 laps down. So it's going to be a cleaner track than expected for Andreas Eich.
Josh Chin, where is he? He's down in 20th. Uh-oh. And Kevin Santana apparently has fallen afoul to one of the pitfalls of this track. He seems he has a black flag for passing under yellow. I heard them warning some of the drivers about this, DJ, with that pit entry.
Yeah, it's really tricky on this track. It's very similar to Homestead in that regard, where you have the exit off of turn 3. The way iRacing scores it is that you have to maintain your position all the way through to the pit entrance line. So what that means is if you're coming down pit lane, you have to actively look out the right side of your car and make sure you're not gaining a position before you get into pit lane. Santana falling afoul of that right here.
And Josh Chin is in yet again. Did he not take service in either of the 2 times?
I think at this point I've learned to not question what Josh Chin is doing. Maybe it's another Twitch sub bet. Maybe they bet him to pit again if he got 5 more subscribers. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see if the Peanut Gallery has any information on that one. This is going to send him to the back of the field once again, but I don't believe he'll lose a lap since it's under caution. We are getting ready to go green this time by Broomhead with a nice run up the field. Started 7th. He's currently 3rd. Edie actually went from 8th to 2nd. Driver who has really been on a hard charge, though, is Alex Guyon, 17th to 6th. We do have Robert Besaw Jr. from 29th to 10th, but he did not put a qualifying lap in. So as Bill Zahn would say, that is not legitimate. All right, getting ready to go. Boy, he is way off the pace car. David Rodriguez is about a mile back here. Pace car is already in. Giving it some time. Now he is gone. David Rodriguez takes the green flag on lap 37. We are heading down into turn 1. Edie, probably in communication with him, probably had the best start we've seen thus far tonight on these restarts. Broomhead behind caught a little bit of the curb. He is going to be susceptible as Sirois could maybe regain one of the positions he lost on that last stint. And in fact, he's down to the inside.
He's going to go for it, and he almost looks like he's bringing Andreas Arhus along with him as Broomhead forced way out wide. That's Legault down there, too. And I believe that's Andreas Ike and Santana in the background as well. So everybody really trying to make a move on Broomhead here. This is getting really fun.
Go down to the inside. That shallow line is not working for him because up on the high side, Ike with a great run, trying to return to the front of the field. The highest of our drivers who have pitted so far. He's in 6th. Couldn't successfully get around the 88, but he's still in the hunt.
And there you see, Joe, the advantage of those new fresh tires for Ike, really able to put the car wherever he wants to, is now you're seeing Broomhead trying to work on Sirois. Not enough to make anything happen there, but behind them you see in the back of your frame, no, never mind, that's going to be him trying to take a wider line for Broomhead, trying to make something work. Andreas Ike, though, behind there, really trying to make a move on Olivier Legault.
Looked like he was trying to square off the exit to get the run down here into 3. And he certainly closed up, but it didn't give him the chance that he quite wanted. Santana's going in to serve his penalty, sadly. The stewards are not going to clear that for him, so that will likely put him a lap down. Up in the front, Rodriguez and Edie lead the way, but there's about a second between them, and then 1.5 seconds back to Sirois. So the podium spreading apart.
Podium spreading apart is there. You can see in the background, that's Andreas Ike trying to make the move on Olivier Legault down the inside. I think he's going to make it stick. He is indeed. Legault's going to try to fight back down the main stretch, but Ike goes back, and now that's Legault going back for the over-under. He's going to have that inside line, but can Ike make it work around the outside? I think he can. Yes, he can. He gets the move stuck.
Woo! As they come to lap Santana, who is back out from his penalty. Oh, in front of them, Broomhead's got the run on Sirois. He is going to move himself into P3 and claim it back. We're getting close to the halfway mark. And let's see, how much time do we have left, as this could be a time-limited race. We're actually well past the halfway mark on the time limit, but that's with a couple cautions thrown in there. So far, so good on this green flag run. And Broomhead stretching away from Sirois now that he has cleared himself.
Really is. Sirois struggling a little bit there with that dirty air ahead of him, and you could see in that red car behind, that's Andreas Ike. We've talked about those new tires. He is just able to get so much more grip out of that car. He is able to plan it wherever he wants. He's able to run a good over-under line. You can see him there fighting down farther onto the rumble strips. He's able to keep the car lower for longer, getting more clean air onto the left side of that front wing and just getting a better run off the corner, and now going to try to make a run here on Sawah.
Stays right in the tire tracks, drifts up just a little bit now to get that clear air you were talking about. And they're gunning down Broomhead at this point. In fact, Sawah with a magnificent launch down towards turn 1. He'll have the inside, and he's going to have the spot. Is drifting back. Broomhead settles into P4. As the good going off the tires for Ike, he wasn't able to take advantage. Broomhead coming back at him, though. Get a little bit of that leapfrog we were looking for before. The 0-5 low and 3 and 4 gets pinched down. As they come off the corner, momentum way in favor of Sawah and in favor of Ike, but Ike lifts.
Yeah, Ike just taking discretion as the better part of valor there, knowing he's got more time to make these moves sticks. Amazing defense there from Michael Broomhead through those corners. He is just getting so much more momentum through 1 and 2, as I think he's going to try a late diving move here through 3 and 4. He is down to the inside of Sawah, seeing if he can make it stick. Sawah going to stick to the high line, bank on that momentum now. Broomhead's got to get up and cut off that momentum as fast as he can, but it's not going to be enough. Sawah going to dive down to the inside and have that line coming into 1.
Back and forth they go. This is all for the final spot on the podium. And we're going to get another repeat, but this time Broomhead is all the way alongside him before they even get out of turn 2. He has mastered the art of diamonding turns 1 and 2 in this race at least. Oh, but he didn't get fully past. And we're going to see a repeat as Sawah loves that high line through 3 and 4. They're being joined now as Olivier Legault is going to overtake Andreas Ike potentially. Down into 1 and 2. 2 by 2 they go. Sawah a little bit slow. This checks up Ike, but he doesn't lose the spot to Legault. Finally, your order out of the corner is Broomhead, Sawah, Ike, Legault, and Guyon now.
We'll have to see what Michael Broomhead does through 3 and 4. He's going to still go down to that lower line. I think it's a little interesting that Sawah did that as well with as much successes he's had on that high line, but good jump off there for Andreas Ike as well, as he's going to get up behind the gearbox. Everybody getting super tight, but it's Legault going to make a move, or at least think about it, down the inside of Ike. That's not going to happen. Ike going to go for the high line through 1 and 2. He's going to have the momentum, move out to the inside. Everybody going back and forth here down the backstretch.
Ike still under threat. Olivier keeping his nose underneath those rear wheels, and then he has to back out of it. Looks like on the high side, Santana a lap down, who's not in this fight. Going to take advantage. Very slow off the corner for Legault. Guyon now, that is a car that he needs to worry about because that is for position. And unfortunately, he can't do much with it. Our house joins a train that goes from 3rd to 8th.
Really starting to work, and there you see that is, I believe, that lapped car working up there of Kevin Santana trying to make his way past, but Andreas Ike says, no thank you, that is my position, I will keep it, as things calm down here for the moment in this fierce battle for that final podium spot.
What this has done is allowed the top 2 to stretch it out to 5 seconds from Indy to Broomhead. Indy has caught up to Rodriguez, but I think they're just playing it cool for the time being, with them being teammates in a monster gap.
Yeah, really doing it in there. You see Santana getting very fierce again on Andreas Ike. If I'm Ike, I am absolutely infuriated by this. Is now you see Broomhead trying to make a defensive move, but that's going to force Sawah super down to the inside. Sawah has the advantage coming through the corner. He's going to keep it. Broomhead's going to go back up to that high line, see if he can get momentum working. Sawah able to hold the corner for now, but Ike able to draw up a little bit more. But Broomhead in a really good draft here. It's going to have to pick a lane as they come through. Broomhead's going to go a little bit higher, try to get some clean air, maybe work some momentum, and Santana behind, still refusing to back away and working on that high line himself.
I suspect Santana's got the red mist down. He really wants to get on the lead lap. Barnett, Santana, Chin, all a lap down, still looking to get into things.
Really making it work there. Is there, you can see everybody making it go. And who's that in the back of the pack? Oh, that's Joshua Chin, just in case you were wondering. He can prove he's still fast. But we're going to stay here with Sirwa and Broomhead as they work their ways all the way around here, settling down just a little bit, as now there's a gap of a couple of car lengths in between Broomhead, Ike, and Legault.
My goodness, this has been the bit to watch. Oh, and they've got some lap traffic. This is not good for Barnett. Looks like Sirwa is going to be able to get by. And, oh, Broomhead's pitting.
Oh, heartbreak there for Michael Broomhead. Obviously running out of fuel. He needs to come back in. Not good for him. Joseph, what are you seeing from Broomhead?
Well, it's not only Michael Broomhead. The race leader, David Rodriguez, is also in the pits. Maybe they miscalculated the fuel. Maybe they're getting tires for a last-second run to the end. But this is heartbreaking for the leader.
Neither of them have stopped yet. Edie's coming in as well. So I think this is a case of they've got to come in. And unfortunately, it's under green flag laps. So this looks best for Sirwa, I would think. No, Sirwa didn't pit. It's Ike, actually. Excuse me. Ike is going to inherit the lead and likely be able to go to the end with nobody around him. The next car down is our house, and he's 2.5 seconds back.
You know, Joe, we were sitting there questioning Ike's decision to pit during that yellow flag stop. He's making fools of us, as that clearly appears to be the best strategy, as he's now just going to start to pull away from this field, I think.
Wow, incredible stuff here. Strategy did indeed make a big factor out of this race. They come back around. Edie looks like he's just barely going to stay on the lead lap ahead of Ike. Ike can see him up ahead.
He can, and now he's made his way through 3 and 4. When you come out of the pits on those cold tires, you do have to lift a little bit through those corners. You've got to feather the throttle. But he is now far enough ahead that will let him stay on the lead lap. So a bit of a lucky break there for Edie. He's going to now pray that we get some sort of yellow flag to come out ASAP.
Absolutely. But everybody's taken their stop at this point. So theoretically, we should see all drivers be able to get to the end from here. I'm watching the battle for P4 right now. Richards and Bowden, and a tight little fight. So this is going to be a fair bit of points, especially for, well, actually for both of them. They're both AM drivers. And then in third, we have an AM driver, Robert Besaw Jr. So can't forget that this is essentially 2 different championships happening at once out here. And certainly a few taking great advantage of what is an unusual situation.
Certainly, and Joe, this is the beauty of oval racing, is that you have this kind of stuff that happens all the time. As you ride on board here, you can see him just trying to stick it down, keeping it in 6th gear all the way through that corner, maybe trying to just, feather the throttle a little bit, save some fuel. We're going to jump back to P10 here. Oh, there goes Rodriguez all up the inside of Sean Duhamel, proving his dominance.
And Rodriguez seems to have had a connection issues. He's no longer with us. Hopefully he'll pop back in. They do have an incident limit, but I'd be hard-pressed to imagine that someone could do that on an oval that quickly. So back to that battle for P4. Richards holding Bowden at bay. Other drivers were having an easy time swapping lines. Not seeing much from these two, though, that they're experimenting.
No, they're pretty much keeping it regular. And frankly, between these guys, they're AM drivers. They're not used to running up this high. No offense to them, but we are going to jump back here with Santana and Josh Chin. Now, this is a battle for position right in front of the leader. So this could have some very interesting situations.
Chin just getting back onto that lead lap now, and he gets ahead of Santana in the process. There's still a long road to hoe for the number 93. He's up to 11th. mitigating some of the damage at least. Now, where is Sirwa? Sirwa is actually behind him right now. So in all this, where we thought that David could at least close in on the point, suddenly it's switched right back around.
It has. Joshua Chin just proving the class of the field as there you see Santana trying to work his way around, trying to do anything. The biggest thing to come out of this, though, Joe, is the fact that that is Andreas Ike stuck behind these guys. As now you're going to see Ike trying to make the move down to the inside of Santana, obviously lap traffic. Rules in this series, you don't have to completely give away to that first position, to that first place driver if you're a lap down. You can fight for position just a little bit within reason, I believe is what the rulebook says.
Yep, if you're trying to get your lead lap back, as long as you're not impeding the leaders, I'm pretty sure that they are okay to do so. As Andreas Ike looking to be the first person to win other than Joshua Chin, the car right in front of him. And it's going to take place on an oval. We kind of wondered if these would be a bit of a joker round. Our house is about a second and a half behind him currently. And I believe that gap has come down slightly. So our house may be looking like he could get this to be tight towards the end. We're about 10 minutes left to go with 21 laps to do.
Yeah, Joe, I had the same thought about Anders Arhus, but that gap just seems to be keeping even, as it were. Every time it gets down to about below a second and a half, Ike's able to find a little bit and keep him at bay. But we'll keep an eye on that as there you see Ike just continuing to run behind Santana. That's another last car of Sean Duhamel working his way, getting passed by there as now got guys diving down the inside. Ike seems very content to just run behind Santana here and get the advantage of that draft.
So keep an eye on that. I'm also noticing that Indy's making up some positions. In fact, he's just taking 7th right now. And I believe he's towing along his teammate, who is unfortunately a lap down from him. So Indy within the top 10, now up to P7. Still about almost a full lap behind our leader, sadly.
He is, and there you can see literally the difference that a pit stop can make if you're just a little tentative on the brakes, trying to come in or whatever have you, and that's what put Santana a lap down as opposed to Declan Eady being able to come out on that lead lap. So just that little bit of a hesitation can make all of the difference.
I think Josh Chin's about to get another one as well. Yeah, Chin's going to move himself up to 9th. It's amazing what this guy can do. Very Dixon-esque, making the best of a bad situation and still pulling in the points that he needs to, I think, probably hold on to this points lead. I'm trying to see who is likely to maybe do something with this odd situation that we've got. And I don't think any of the drivers that are close behind him are going to make significant inroads.
No, they're not. Chin just playing absolutely perfect damage control as the Austin Espedy obviously not here tonight. The closest behind him, David Rodriguez, who we've mentioned is a lap down. And that 5th place driver of Alex Gaillon, well, Gaillon is scored currently in P14 behind Chin. So Chin just is actually going to be able to extend his point lead despite that sort of fluky, strange series of pit stops that he made around 20 to 30 laps in.
I can't tell how much of that is luck and how much of that is skill, to be honest. But my dad always said I'd rather be lucky than good, so continue to prove itself true. We're going to check out what David Sirwa can do out of this, too, who was going to be the best place to try and overtake on the points, but is now behind Josh Chin. He's fending off Broomhead as they remain a lap down for P12.
And this battle just continuing after the pit stops. As you remember, these guys just go absolutely going at it before the pit stops come in. Broomhead there backing off a little bit through one. He's going to get a little bit of a good run here. Tuck up behind him in that draft. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough to make the dive into 3 and 4. He is not. He's just going to try to get a little bit higher than Sirwa, go for that over-under line, get the clean air off the apex and just try to maximize everything that he can. He's got a little more momentum, but not enough to close it.
We are in the race, so drivers might be running out of grip out there. It is slightly cooler even still, so temperatures have been going down as the day goes by. They're putting more laps as Sarah goes underneath Olsen. Actually, no, that was for position. No, Olsen was on the same lap as them, so he's moving himself up one. Almost went 3 wide there as that was Guyon and Barnett involved. Still dropping back Donald Olsen without the pace late in the race. That'll demote him to 13th. Broomhead up to 12th. Sirwa to 11th.
Yeah, and Olsen, who pit back all the way on lap 34. I think there you're really seeing the effect of those tires is, we see a good move for position here, as I'm not sure exactly who that is making the move.
As Guyon underneath Olsen, definitely lacking pace. Granted, he started 25th. He's now to 14th, so it's very much a net gain for the 413 car. Oh, and our house is in. Our house is in. How? Okay, let's see if Joseph has any information on this one, because I'm pretty certain he came in for a stop earlier.
Yeah, but he was losing about 7/10 a lap to Ike, so maybe he was trying to save fuel to the end, and if he was, he clearly didn't have enough. But he's going up on the jacks. He's going to take tires. I think a strategy move has not paid off for Anders Arhus today.
Back out he goes with coming to 10 laps to go this time by for Ike. Besaw Jr., who still runs in second place on lap 42, looks to be the driver with the most laps out there right now between his last stop and now. So if anybody needed to come into pit, he's the next one that we should expect. Himself and I believe Christopher Richards, who looks to also be on 42 laps. Wow, Declan Eady continuing to climb like mad. He's going to get into 4th just now, overtaking Christopher Richards.
Great move there from Edie, and that's just a little bit of sheer gutsiness, as well as some fresher tires definitely coming in to help him there. You know, Joe, I think what's going to have to be interesting here is thinking about what Arhus did. I wonder if that is a single car refuel that he just didn't have it, or if that's going to be a problem that all of these guys who came in about 40 or so laps ago were going to have to do. And if that happens, you are watching the two drivers able to benefit, or the one driver able to benefit the most from that being Declan Eady.
And Eady took his first podium since round 1 at round 5 last race. He probably, like I said, would have been involved in this championship if he just didn't have so many issues in the second, third, and 4th round. 7th place. Whoa, my goodness. We got a mess of cars, and they're all fanning out. It's led by Ike. Sirwa trying to get his lap back. Santana as well as Broomhead.
Everybody just absolutely going at it tooth and nail here. That's going to be Santana in front. You can see Ike working his way around, trying not to drift up into the high side of the track, and that's going to be Guyon down to the inside. They're going to go 2 wide into 1 right off the outset.
For Ike, for sure, if something goes wrong, he could easily be collected. So he's got to play it safe. He's got a big gap back to Besaw Jr. He does not need to risk the car. But as I was saying before, Edie, who, let's see, 5 seconds away from Bowden, that's going to be a big ask with only 7 laps to go. We have a car up in the wall. Who is that?
It was Tyler Gore, looking like he was scraping the wall a little bit. He's able to keep going. No yellow flag thrown. Something I want to point out here. You rode on board with Andreas Ike there for a moment. He is keeping this car in 6th gear. He sounds like he is lifting a little bit down the straights, trying to minimize the revs, minimize the fuel consumption. So this race is not over, as you see somebody else. I think that's Olivier Legault diving down to the pit lane as well.
Yep, Olivier Legault, and once again, Josh Chin back in the pits. The strategies in this race, we thought they were going to be crazy, and they are definitely doing that.
But, I think we saw Peterson also jump into pit lane. Okay, looking at the lap times for Andreas Ike, He's now down to 32, nearly 33 seconds per lap. Regular pace is mid-30s. Bowden is now closing on him. He is 8.5 seconds. We're listening on board. This does not seem right.
You can see that rev counter right there. He is not putting any throttle into this car. He is trying to milk this across the line. With 4 to go, he may be in danger of running out.
And Bowden's in. Bowden is in pit lane. Edie is up to second. Is this going to be his first win of the season? And by fuel strategy, we're down to 4 laps to go. Last lap through, a 33.4 for Andreas Eich. The car is absolutely sputtering. Edie is going to easily breeze past.
Edie's got to make up about 9 seconds here, but I think if Ike continues going on this path, he is not going to have it. This is going to be attrition. Ike trying to pull an Alexander Rossi here at a short oval, which is something I don't think I have ever heard of doing.
33.8 last time by. Declan Edie, a 30 flat. Down to 5 seconds between them. 3 to go. I just don't think that Ike can make this far if he keeps at that pace.
He can't, Joe. He was lifting halfway down the backstretch on that last lap. He does not have the fuel, and if he does, I don't know where he got it from. As we see here, Edie starting to make the charge. Ike halfway through turns 1 and 2 right now. That's him up ahead. That is him in the red and white car.
2 to go. Last lap was a 34.4 this time. He's gaining on him. He's looking for the slipstream. I don't think he needs it, though. And Ike, just helplessly watches as Declan streams by. There is nobody near Declan to try and take this win away as he takes the white flag. 1 to go. He's only going to lead 2 laps of this race at this rate. Down through 1 and 2. What a change in fortunes as Declan Edie has been in sore need of some brightness in this season, some cheerful news for him. Well, cheerful news for you, buddy. You're going to take your first win of the season in round 6 here at St. Louis as the 013 comes off of turn 4 and takes the checkered flag.
Amazing run there from Edie as Ike trying to milk his way across the line right now. David Sarah may be able to pip him to take a second place here to move it in. He did. Sarah got him.
And Ike is going to be 4th. He isn't even going to be on the podium. Alex Guyon snuck by. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Broomhead into the top 5. Our house. How many do we even have left on the lead lap? Legault sputtering as well. He's the last one that's going to reach the line, and the number 88. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll come back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews, so stick around. Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Raceway, or as most of us know it, Gateway. Declan Eady finally took a win from 8th on the grid by outsmarting all of his rivals with the best fuel strategy of anybody. David Sirois finished in 2nd. Just up and down. I can't imagine the roller coaster of emotions he experienced. He did wind up taking a bunch of points out of the lead of Chin, who we'll get to later. Alex Guyon from 17th to 3rd. Ike, unfortunately, finished off the podium. Didn't quite have enough fuel to make it, but he did take the checkered flag just with the engine cutting out and finishing 4th. Michael Broomhead was 5th, and Anders Arhaus was P6. Besaw Jr. wound up with 7th after not putting a qualifying lap in. And then Don Bowden was 8th, and Olivier Legault, last one on the lead lap, in 9th. David Rodriguez, who led for some of the race, only managed a top 10.
Series point leader in a surprising P11, Joshua Chin. Christopher Richards coming up behind him in P12. Kevin Santana in 13th, followed by Owen McLaughlin and Dave Peterson. Donald Olson and Sean Duhamel rounding out 16th and 17th, and the last of the cars only one lap down. Adam Wright, Eric LeBlanc, and David Hebert, 18th, 19th, and 20th, all of them getting into scuffles along the way.
From there on down, it's many drivers who was just basically taking a lot of repairs and limping home or DNFing among our 29 starters. We've got our winner ready to talk to us, Declan. You know, I honestly, we doubted you. We doubted a lot of drivers as this thing just swung back and forth all race long. Did you ever doubt yourself about your strategy here today?
Well, David and I, we were looking at the under caution when Andreas and everyone else pitted. We were looking at the fuel numbers, and we just thought, you know, they're still going to be, you know, they're 5 laps short now. Even if they save, that's a lot of fuel to save. So we stayed out, pitted when the tank ran empty, and then, you know, unfortunately for him, his internet cut out as he was lapping behind me, so he got placed a lap down. So we might talk with the stewards and see what we can sort out there. But yeah, I mean, it really, as I saw the gap to Andreas in front of me just coming down in the last laps, I knew I just had to be perfect. So I just kind of dialed it in and went as hard as I could and passed him just coming to the white flag. So yeah, definitely good to finally get a win on the board.
This feels like your luck has been changing around at least a little bit compared to how early in the season went. Did you expect that to happen on an oval, though, of all places?
Well, if you guys remember last week, I said that we were picturing a top 5, and as we were kind of settling into our green flag run just before the caution came out, I said to David, yeah, I said top 5 last week. That's what I feel like we've got. But how the fuel strategy worked out, and I'd like to feel like I drove the wheels off that thing. So yeah, I'm definitely very happy with this. Was not expecting my first win to be on an oval though for the season. So yeah.
Well, is there anybody you'd like to thank for the victory here today?
I'd like to thank our title sponsor, G Performance, for giving us our gear. Abruzzi Racewear for our swag, our gloves and stuff. Formula Hypersoft News, our social media partner, as well as ButtKicker, who I know also sponsor the series. So I think, and thank you guys for the broadcast.
Thank you for giving us an exciting race. That was Declan Eady, our winner. And then up next, I believe that DJ has caught up with David Sirois.
David, talk about a roller coaster of emotions for a race for you, but able to come out P2 at the end through fuel strategy and start to really finally claw in on that points advantage to Josh Chin. How was it, my friend?
Well, that was crazy. The Lavoie Motorsport Nitro 360 karting offer car was very good today. It was very consistent on the track. In the first half of the race, I was very careful, trying to save some gas. But then when I came back to the pit for fuel, I fell back in 16th or so. I never thought I could have done a top 5. I'm very, very happy with second place.
It was an inspired run to watch for sure. We have to talk about the championship. We're headed to Interlagos next week. Is this the start of the comeback for you to really put the screws to Josh?
No, I don't think so. Josh is very fast. Declan Eady is very fast too. By the way, congratulations to him for his win. But I don't think I have what I need to to really challenge Joshua for the championship. So I'm going to go for a second place in the championship. I don't have the speed. I have the consistency, but not the speed.
I got you. Well, David, before we let you go, anybody you need to thank here tonight?
Of course, Lavoie Motorsport, Nitro 360, Karting Offered, and all the admins and you guys doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, David. And finally, Joe Tebben has got Alex Guyon in the booth.
Yep, Alex Guyon got third place by the skin of your teeth there. Were you leaning forward in your chair trying to get that last couple tenths at the end there?
What do you think? My back hurts, my hands hurt, my shoulder hurts, everything hurts. But it's a good feeling, really. I can't believe I'm on the podium. That's my first podium in the PRL league. I'm really happy.
And other than that really exciting finish, you actually made it from 17th to 3rd on the grid, which I think makes you the biggest mover of the day. How did you pull that off?
A little bit of luck, a little bit of good strategy, maybe some good driving too. I have to give me that, but I completely blew up my qualification. I touched the wall on my third lap. This is just the worst lap to to touch the wall. I was completely, I was down after that. To be honest, starting in the middle of the pack on that kind of track, it's just a guess. But believe me, it was a good guess.
Yep, definitely was. And is there anyone special you'd like to thank for your podium finish today?
Yeah, of course. I want to thank my team, Lavoie Motorsport, for all the good support. I want to thank LM Production, which is a group who is organizing some races. And I want to deeply thank David Sirois, who is kind of my mentor in road racing. I'm not on road racing for that long, so really happy to be up to the challenge this season.
Yep, that was our third place finisher, Alex Guillon. And to take us out, I'll throw you back to Joe Peak.
All right. Some great interviews and insights onto what was a bizarre race. We're going to thank, of course, our sponsor for the series as well, ButtKicker. If you want to check them out, they are at thebuttkicker.com. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast. They're listed here on your screen. And additional thanks go to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team today, DJ, Sean, and Dougie, as well as our pit reporter, Joseph Tebben. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com or check out our social media, which includes Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Gram. The next race is going to be at Interlagos, as we mentioned. That'll be Thursday, November 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Up next, in just a few moments' time, Lionheart Retro Series goes to Road America. That'll start at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.